Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com. They're a leading provider of spoken audio information and entertainment. Listen to their audiobooks whenever and wherever you want. You know, I do a lot of driving. I'm always listening to an audiobook, and I love it. I couldn't live without Audible. If interested, go to audiblepodcast.com/Lutz. audiblepodcast.com/Lutz. You are listening to the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1590 WPSL. So if the paper price of silver and gold isn't the correct price because of the widespread, unceaseless manipulation, how do you get the best price for your metals? What is the right price? I don't know the answer to that, but hopefully you'll hear it from Bix Weir. Bix, as always, welcome.
Hi, Kerry. It's good to be here in these times of trouble.
And they are very troubling times. And if you can't trust the government, who can you trust? If you can't trust the rigged, manipulated paper precious metals markets, what do you do?
Well, that's the key is that their biggest tool of manipulation of gold and silver has been since the 1970s has been controlling the price. Now that people no longer believe that the price is the true price of what they should be selling their gold and silver for, everybody has run into the market to buy physical silver, and we're seeing huge volumes being traded on the physical side. You know, nothing close to the volumes on the electronic side, but the farther they press the price lower, the more silver bullion is being off-taken, and that's why you're seeing delays in premiums and things like that. But I believe the rigged price, the electronic price that you see quoted every day on Kitco and things like that, that paradigm has been broken, and now there is no way to go from here except buying physical, keeping it in your possession. Nobody's selling physical right now. And that's one of the key things is everybody's a buyer as the prices go lower and lower. And then we'll see people buying because they think the bottom is in. So all we're looking at now from here on out is buyers and very few sellers.
And that is kind of fascinating, isn't it? Because there's no market, basically. The paper markets are failing to perform their primary function, which is price discovery. What is the correct price? And now we don't really know what the physical price is. We just don't know.
That is true, and it's interesting because you can get silver. You can go out and buy silver, and I suggest to everybody that you do that as fast as you can while you still can get it, because we're in the process of breaking down this pricing mechanism, price manipulation mechanism. For example, in April, just in April alone, 90,000 contracts of silver were traded per day. That's 450 million ounces of electronic silver were traded per day in the month of April. That number is so staggering to think that all that pretend silver was needed to set the price below $25. During that time, there were no sellers, individual sellers of physical silver. Everybody was a buyer, and they are still buyers. That is the key. The silver electronic price has broken away from what people are viewing silver as, the physical metal. We're down to ounces now, ounces in your own possession, and not the price of those ounces that is set on the rigged markets.
Yeah, and so it's really becoming a question of weight, not of dollar management then.
True, and the paradigm has been broken. No longer, well, there's still some people who get freaked out as silver. I've said for years, silver, they can place the price at zero if they want. They can place the price at $1 million an ounce if they want. That's the way the computer programs can rig the market. It is all powerful. The question is, can you break away from the mindset of looking at price and not thinking about, well, how many ounces do I have in hand for when this game is over? And guys like James Turk are saying, well, they're running out of bars, they're running out of coins. They're going to, go into some kind of managed retreat and let the prices go up so that they don't completely run out. I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a hard stop where all of a sudden there is no more metal and the markets just shut down and freeze, because right now the metal's going fast, and if they let it go up, you're going to get the bottom fissures coming in, and it's just not there. So I think we've hit that point of a hard stop in trading of physical or electronic and physical metals.
Yeah, and there's definitely something wrong with this whole market. I mean, you don't have to be a market technician to realize that this thing isn't functioning right, and therefore any information that you get from these markets you can't trust. So there is no integrity, I guess, is what I'm saying, in these markets. Not that there has been for a while, but the markets are getting more and more divorced from objective reality by the day.
You're right, and it's true that there hasn't been at least since the 1970s, when the first computer rigging started back in early 1970s. So nothing has been real since. It's just now that it's getting so extreme, and there's so much more information out there, people are starting to question whether or not the comics in the LBMA are real, or are they a facade, a false front for what pricing should be. And obviously they're coming to the conclusion that it is a false pricing mechanism, and they're running out and buying physical.
Yeah, I've said for a while that every index in the world is merely a billboard. There was once a movie called Cops and Robbers, and these New York cops decide to go steal like millions of dollars worth of municipal bonds. And then for some reason, the police are searching and they have to shred the bonds. But they said, you know what? We bought a headline. Now we'll go sell fake paper to the mafia. They'll give us the cash when we fence it, and then we'll disappear. So all they're doing is buying headlines and nothing else. There's no substance behind those headlines. There's nothing to back it up.
That is true, and there hasn't been, since the development of the current electronic markets. So the realization has hit people now, which is good, and then there'll be a dying process, which is happening right now of the electronic, and right now about way over 90% of all trades are just banks trading back and forth to each other to set the price wherever they want. I don't know if it'll end or just stop, because they'll have no more suckers to bring in as everybody runs towards physical. And the CFTC, in all their glory, in the first two silver manipulation investigations, said, well, the COMEX is not manipulated because the price is in line with the physical price. Well, that has now been shattered, and they have nowhere to go with this last investigation except to conclude that, yes, it was and has been rigged, and it will continue to be rigged until these banks are taken out of the electronic trading system.
Yeah, so in other words, these markets have all the integrity of and all the value of a game like Second Life, right? I mean, you get money, you get these like virtual Linden dollars or something, and they're worth nothing except in the game. So once you go outside the game, it's worthless.
It's a good point, and I've been telling people for years, get your physical metal out of their system, stand on the sidelines, and watch the craziness happen. They might put the price of physical or electronic silver to $1 million an ounce. Who knows? Nobody knows where they're going to decide where they're going to put it next. But the key is, you don't want your metal mixed up in that insanity. You want it in your pocket, on the sidelines, waiting for it to end. And I do believe we're going to come to a hard end, because there's nowhere to go from here where they can cool the demand for physical metal. And that's kind of what the pricing mechanism has been doing for the past 40 years, is trying to get people in, take them out. And now that they slammed it and didn't get that fleeing of the physical people, there's people lining up around the world to buy their physical metal. The U.S. Mint is on track to do 60 million ounces this year. They're now the largest seller of physical silver. And the reality is that once that paradigm was broken, which was the last slam under $25, I believe it's been broken for everybody. People are going to do the smart thing, rush in and get physical, get it in their pocket, and let the banksters do what they want with the price.
Hey, and by the way, the physical stores of metal on those exchanges, and not that you could believe anything they tell you, is declining rapidly. Have you noticed that?
Well, I think in gold that has been true with the GLD. Silver, not so much, because who knows
what's there.
Yeah, how many of those bars are even there, or even are they leased out? Yeah, they can lease out their metal. Are they molybdenum filled? Probably. So the key is to get your mind around getting out of their game. And the only way to get out of their game is to get physical coins, get them in your pocket, and stand on the sidelines and watch the insanity go on.
And it's going, yeah. I mean, the gold stores there is just declining dramatically. And you see GLD and SLV, their stocks are also declining pretty rapidly too.
Yeah, I practice what I preach, so I don't watch.
I know you don't pay attention
to the numbers as much these days. I used to stay up in the middle of the night and click on Kitco and say, "What's the price?" But once I figured out, hey, this, I know who did it. I know when these computer programs started. I know why they are doing it. Right now, why they're keeping the price low is to get physical metal into the hands of the people for the coming collapse. And that coming collapse could be an economic collapse. It could be a geological collapse, if you believe some people like Cliff High. But there is something on the way. And the best and only way to survive it, and I think it's going to be an economic collapse, is to have physical metal in your own hands. And it is so important, and I think that's why they're driving the price lower, because if you look at what's happening, what are the ramifications of driving these prices lower, is people are running out and buying physical coins, and you're seeing long delays and lag times and premiums and things like that, which will continue. And that all it's doing is getting silver into the hands of the people. It's kind of like all the gun stuff going on right now, where they want to ban all these guns. All it did was get guns into the hands of people who are afraid their rights are going to get taken away. So it's kind of like a reverse psychology thing, where they say don't do it, and the first thing that people do is run out and do it. So I think that's what's going on with silver, is that they're driving the prices lower to get more and more physical coins in the hands of the public. And then at some point they're going to pull a hard stop and just shut down all markets.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like that. Another interesting thing, while the price of gold and silver have been going sideways or down, you've pretty much seen oil retrace a lot of its decline. I mean, it's not trading at the highest price at $140 a barrel, but it's getting back up to that $100 price. So, a lot harder to cheat on that crude oil market than on the smaller.
I don't know about that. I think it's completely 100% in control of the market riggers as well. It isn't hard to do, because you have unlimited amounts of electronic trades. Most of the trades that go on in oil are electronic blips on the COMEX and in the paper, not even paper, in the electronic market. So the price of oil goes where they want it to go. The price of silver goes where they want it to go. It is all rigged 100% with computer programs, mostly run out of the Fed right now. Jack Blue's the guy who's got his foot on the neck of silver right now, and he'll continue to do so until his plan is over, and then something else will happen.
Yeah, any predictions for when this everything's going to hit the fan and the hard reset occurs?
You don't want to hear my prediction because, I've been off for years. It's been delayed and delayed. But I think by June 1, we should get on the phone again and if we can, and discuss what's going on in the markets.
Well, I don't care if everything else breaks down. Just don't Just don't make my iPhone stop working. That's all I ask. And my internet.
But there's a lot of problems with the internet right now with these DDoS attacks. So you'll notice that your phone, your video service is delayed, and you keep getting booted off the internet. That'll get worse and worse.
I've noticed that. Yeah, a lot of crashes. So hey, Bix, roadtoroota.com, roadtoroota.com. Sign up there, must reading, and go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. You can always hear or see Bix's latest take on things. All right, Bix, talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kerry.
Hi, I'm Kerry Lutz, host of the Financial Survival Network. We talk a lot about investments. We talk a lot about what to do with your money. If you're looking to invest in income-producing property, I recommend Jason Hartman. He's helped thousands of investors realize their dreams and help them to finance their retirements. He can help you find income-producing property anywhere in the country. He's got the know-how and the understanding to help you buy the right property at the right price. But it doesn't end there. He'll show you how to effectively manage your property and get the highest cash flow possible from it. And when it comes to the maximum tax benefits of your real estate investment, Jason is tops. Find Jason at www.jasonhartman.com. That's Jason, HARTMAN.com. Again, jasonhartman.com.